News just into News 4. Antonio Muldrew has been convicted of first-degree murder. A St. Louis jury just reaching that decision in the murder of an Ethiopian refugee. The man was working as a clerk at a convenience store in South St. Louis in 2014.
Attorney General Eric Schmidt was a member of the prosecution team. Russell Kinsall is live downtown following the trial.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes ago we heard from Eric Schmidt. It took jurors about an hour and 25 minutes to reach that verdict, guilty on all counts. The defense tried but failed to convince jurors to convict Antonio Muldrew of a lesser charge of second-degree murder. Because prosecutors decided not to seek the death penalty, Muldrew will spend the rest of his life in prison. 41-year-old Antonio Muldrew listened for 3 days while he heard the prosecution lay out overwhelming evidence. He was arrested shortly after a convenience store at Chippewa in Louisiana was robbed in July of 2014. The store clerk was killed. Muldrew was charged with first-degree murder, assault, robbery, and armed criminal action. During the trial, a DNA analyst testified that it was indeed the victim's blood that was found on Muldrew's clothes. Police testified that they watched surveillance video of the robbery and then arrested Muldrew outside the store in a crowd of onlookers because he matched the description of the robber in the video. On video of police interrogating Muldrew, he admitted shooting the clerk. He said he robbed the store because he owed money and said he shot the clerk 2 times in the head to ensure he was dead. During the trial, Muldrew was often seen at odds with his public defender, Sharon Turlington. She said in court that Muldrew has an IQ of 70 and the mind of a first grader. His relatives believe that he shouldn't have been put on trial because of his bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. But the 5th and most recent mental evaluation found him mentally competent to stand trial. The Attorney General's office was brought in to prosecute the case because of a conflict with the local circuit attorney's office. Attorney General Eric Schmidt joined in the prosecution team, giving the opening statement and also doing the questioning of the medical examiner. He said it wasn't a political stunt.
This was an opportunity for us, for me to roll my sleeves up and help prosecute this case. And I'm glad that the jurors came back with that guilty verdict. And we're committed to this. I'm personally committed to this. There is just too much loss of human life, and we've got to do something about it. And that part of that means prosecuting the bad guys and putting them in jail for a long time, and that's what's going to happen in this case.
Again, in this case, because prosecution did not seek the death penalty, Muldrew will automatically receive a sentence of life in prison that will be formalized at a hearing next month. Live downtown, Russell Kinsall, News 4.